hustler, baby. I'm a hustler,
Yeah.
baby.
I know heartbreaks, setbacks. Bitch, if I crap out, I'm sure I'ma get back. I've been through the ups and downs, you know I get around. So to me,
What's going on, y'all? It's your man June Archer, the Winner Circle here with the finisher himself, the legend, Mr. Teddy Riley. Big
doing?
bro. It's a pleasure and an honor, man.
My
Listen,
pleasure, my pleasure.
I'm excited. We're here in New York City,
Yes, sir.
Marriott Marquis, Songwriters Hall of Fame, but we're gonna get into that in a second. But I wanna take it back, man. Harlem, music, you fell in love with it at a very young age, man.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind just even getting into music to begin with?
Man, I've always been fascinated by music. Actually, music was the savior of me getting away from the stress and all of the stuff that was happening in the projects, you know, and domestic with my mom being abused. So, you know, music was my escape. You know, the song Music in Me, Michael Jackson, was the song that I listened to. Or I would listen to records like, you know, What's Going On, you know, back in the day. And then I got fascinated by it. And I said, man, I wish I could be that, because I didn't
Right.
know what it was until my father started buying the instruments. And when he bought the instruments, I just started picking up everything. So that's what made me just so into wanting to do music and wanting to be a star. I was picked up on stage at 5 years old by Gladys Knight. And when that happened, it felt like I got that far, I could go even further.
Right. It just felt good.
Yeah.
Now, when you look back at the many years of putting in work, what do you say to the young black and brown boy who, in similar situations, trying to make it out, only knows the four corners that they grew up around and that they travel, to say to them, man, get a passport, get into music? What do you say to them now that you've traveled and you've seen what you can actually make of yourself when you think bigger and you think outside of those 4 blocks?
Well, that answer for today in this climate would be learn everything about it and everything outside of it. Because if you don't, that'll be the only thing that you know. And the way that they are respecting music today, you know, it shouldn't be your only downfall. It shouldn't be your only thing to turn to. It was my only thing to turn to because it was it, you know.
Right.
This was our way out of the hood and the ghetto, you know, and the opportunities were, you know, very, very, you can go either way, you know what I'm saying? So the opportunities were very big, and it's not the same today. You know, if you do, you know, you have to either fall under something or fall for something.
Wow, I like how you said that. And most young people these days are falling for something.
Yeah, of course. That's why I said it that way, you know. Back in the day, you didn't have to join a clique. You didn't have to. You just have to do music and be the best at it. And that's what I was, you know. I did my best on making this music that is called New Jack Swing. Thank you, Barry Michael Cooper, for, you know,
Coining the phrase.
giving me that name and coining the phrase, because he was at the time writing New Jack City with Mr. George Jackson, a blessing. So I feel like the opportunities back then is the greatest. I wish we can go back to then, in that time. You know, it would give these kids that are very talented and even more talented than us back in the day.
Back then, with all the technology that they have now.
Yeah, if we had the technology and not the bull crap, corruption,
Absolutely.
along with the back in the day format and formula of how to get your music to the mass.
And make money off your music.
Exactly.
And treat it as a business.
Yeah.
Because I know as when you started out, there's snakes in the game, sharks in the game, not enough education. I just started the June Archer School of Arts, and I want to ask you this. Why is it important to put music back into school so our young people know what it's like to be in arts and entertainment? Because we find that a lot of pathways and success come from learning music or playing an instrument?
It's very important. First thing it would stop is the systematic corruption.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It would stop that because that's what they want us to do. They want us to be corrupted so that they can pull us into their corruption. You know what I'm saying? So that would stop that if we have music back in the schools, if we had art, you know, craft. If we had all of that back in the school, it would stop the kids from being corrupted.
I love how you put that. And there's so many images on social media that I feel like our young people kind of fall through the cracks. And bringing that music back will be tremendous. I want to talk about your career as it pertains to working with some of the greats. And I want to talk about two people we love and hold near and dear. The late Michael Jackson, of course, his sister Janet Jackson. You've had the opportunity, not a lot of people have had the opportunity to work with both in their line of work, body of work, and throughout their lifetime. How did that feel to work with the King of Pop?
Well, it's like going to college and then getting your master's and then becoming a part of the life of someone who kind of raised me in music, you know, working with him. And to set the record straight, I work with the whole family except
Right, you did work with the Jacksons here.
Riri, and I think that's it, except Riri, who I wanted to work with because Centipede was
Oh, that was
one
a
of my
joint,
favorites.
though. Yeah, that was a slept-on project.
But working with Michael and working with Janet was just like working with my brother and my sister. And, you know, pretty much when Janet and we got to work together, and, you know, I did the remix for Get So Lonely, and, you know, she came and did some stuff for us. You know, it's just like working with family.
No, that's dope.
You know,
That's
so
dope.
I really enjoyed my time, and, you know, I hold that to my heart and hold it to myself dearly because no one could say that. You know, I work with the whole family. I
Nah.
work with Michael and Prince,
Nah.
you know.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah.
That's something that you can put on your shoulder and be
Yeah.
like, yo, I did that.
Exactly.
I did that. For you, there's no cheat code to hard work, Teddy. You know this.
At all.
When we talk about young artists and wanting to get in the game, tell me about Michael and his work ethic, because that's somebody we hold very near and dear when we talk about perfection in music and artistry and musicianship.
So crazy because I was watching a video with Michael and I in the studio in Bruce Swedin. I just came across it, and it's crazy how you mentioned this question. Michael's work ethics it's beyond anybody because he don't accept anything less than great. So when he's working, he can be on a bad foot. He's gonna try and work that foot out, and he's gonna try and do his moonwalk and everything with that foot, even with hurting. That's how hard he works. And I do the same thing, you know. I'm 24 hours with my craft, not just music, because making music is one thing, but building the things around the music is even bigger. Because if you don't have the support, it will never go where it needs to go.
Right.
And it's the time you spend on it.
Talk about that, though. A lot of people don't,
The
not
time.
5 minutes, not 10 minutes,
Yeah.
not an
People
hour,
make beats in 2 seconds,
and they feel like they did work.
and they feel like they did a lot of work.
I want y'all to pay attention to that. I'm
You
gonna let
know,
you speak.
It's the time you put into your craft, how far it's going to get. So if you get it down to a science, you know, I could work on a record in 5 minutes. But am I happy about that? Because 5 minutes is in my head, man. I spent 5 minutes on that song. I need to do more. I didn't do enough. But you also have to be conscious of overproduction. You have to be conscious of overproducing what you're doing. So being that I've done it for so long, I know when to stop. But if I do more, I know what to take out.
Got
You know what I'm
But that's comes with repetition. It comes with practice.
Yeah.
It comes with putting in the work.
Yes, because you should get all your ideas out. If it's on one song, get it all out. But you'll realize at the end of the day, you're gonna take out something. You're gonna break it down. I don't know, today people don't do drops and
Nah, they don't.
they don't do the drops.
No, they
And
don't.
they don't do all of the stuff that, to make the record speak and tell the story. So I'm always, and I'm still into that, Of course, technology-wise, I've kind of rolled with everything. I still work on everything.
Man,
So
I love that because I was with Keith Shockley last night
my
and
guy.
asking him the same thing. And y'all, to me, I hold y'all up here when you talk about creatives and producers that have what I call tenure in the game, but has put their mark on the game. That you can't talk about 50 years of hip hop without mentioning those names.
Exactly.
All right, so
But I'm gonna, you said hip hop.
are we gonna go in?
So I said this to an interviewer months ago because they asked me, about my life in hip hop. And I said to her, I don't think I get the respect that I deserve
Absolutely not.
in hip hop
Absolutely
as I
not.
should. Working with Dougie Fresh, making the records that people are still playing today. And you got hip hoppers who have made records and their records are not playing today.
They play Dougie.
Yeah, but
they play Rex and Effect.
Exactly.
They
They play Dougie, Rex and Effect, Big Daddy
Big
K,
Daddy Kane, Heavy
Jay-Z,
D.
Heavy D.
We can talk about it.
And the thing about it is I don't get that respect. I've never been invited to the Hip Hop BET Awards, none of that stuff, and it's all good because I'm not gonna go. It's too late.
Is it too late?
It's too late for me to go. You know what's so crazy? Ja Rule asked me yesterday, yo, you going to the BET Awards? I'm like, nah, I don't do those. He's like, I understand. I said, because, and he don't know, but they don't respect me in hip hop, and it's okay. I don't care. I got R&B. I guess they just like, you get one. You don't get 2 or 3.
But why is that? Is it lack of respect or lack of knowledge? And I'm not sticking up for them.
I think
I'm not picking any winners. I'm just saying, is it lack of knowledge? Because if you don't know the contribution that Teddy Riley had with hip hop, I think that does a disservice to the education of music.
There you go.
Especially
lack of
for the
respect
genre.
and lack of education. It's both of them.
Okay.
But it's like I said, it's okay. I get what is given to me, and I accept it. I'm humble about it. But I think someday people should know, and they'll know when they see my biopic, me and Keith, Dougie, about us, about New Jack Swing, about Harlem, about New York, about just our music and what brought fashion to the forefront. What music brought fashion to the forefront? There was none out there but New Jack Swing.
New Jack Swing, 125, Guy.
Guy was named after the
The
store.
clothing store, yeah. That's why I just mentioned 125. Tell you, I know my
Yeah.
history. Listen what I tell you.
So-
I've been doing this for a minute now.
And then when we did that music, AJ Lester's was on. It's like sky's the limit. Yeah, I'm going to get my Lesters, get my AJs and my British Walkers and my Clarks, and I'm good. That's what my contribution to hip hop was. I was in Harlem where people talking about Harlem had never been there.
Absolutely.
I was in the club. Guy hit me last year. He's like, yo, he showed me a picture of Jason. Me and Jason used to hustle together. Me and Lil Carl, and we was with Shaq Crew.
Listen, I'm gonna bug you out. I got pics of me and Teddy at the Apollo Theater when we were rocking the Shirt Kings jackets with the studs on it. I got pics, bro. I was documenting the history from way back then.
And see, we didn't even know about documenting and all of that. People were popping up pictures, and I'm like, yo, that's when I was downtown. I was like, but the thing about it is now we can show that, and people will see that hip hop was first for me. I didn't know nothing about R&B. I didn't want to do R&B because when I did Kids at Work and it failed, I was like, I ain't doing that music no more. And that's what I said to Keith when he came to my projects and say, yo, I want you to work on my album. I said,
no, I'm
what
good.
kind of album? He said, it's R&B. I said, no, I don't do that. I don't do R&B no more. How could I just give up on R&B when I never really even you know, that goes to show, if you try something that didn't work for you, try it again. Because it wasn't the time. You just tried it.
Timing.
It's the timing of it, you know, and that's the thing as well. It's about your timing and how you do things. But at the same time, creativity has no time.
No, it doesn't. I think that you will get your just due. 50 years of hip hop, the hip hop museum, they can't have Teddy Riley's name not plastered on everything. When you're talking about Heavy D, you talk about Rex, you talk about all those who will be in this museum for belongings and artifacts that will be cultivated to celebrate hip hop.
Right.
You're gonna walk through that museum, you gotta say, Teddy did that record. Teddy did that remix.
Even in the club. Last night I was like, wait. And I had people with me. Rap's New Generation came on. It's like, man, that's
Crazy.
dope. Everybody bopping their head. And I just said, I did that.
That's me. Very humble, like very humble.
Yeah. What came on afterwards? Party Ain't a Party. And we was just in the Sprinter talking about Mr. Cheeks. I said, that's my guy.
Party in the Party came on last night when I was at Contra with producer Amadeus and all these guys.
That's crazy.
No, I'm telling you, you can't go out without a party without hearing at least, and I'm gonna give you an exact number, with no less than 3 Teddy Riley records. I promise you can't do it.
That's what we heard last night, and at the Chop House. We was in the Chop House, and they was just, and they didn't know I was in the building,
Right.
Because we went straight to our booth,
Right.
And you know, Don and his guy, they brought me straight to the booth.
Shout out to Don
and
at DC
then
Chop House.
What comes on? Rap's New Generation. I said, I gotta use the bathroom. Rap's New Generation. I'm in the bathroom, using the bathroom. Then I came out and got to the table. I said, did y'all just hear that? He's like, yeah, that record is nice. I said, I did that.
That's me.
But that's the thing, you know, when you have this new, the new set of people in music, and you know, they don't understand, or they don't look back to the past. What they're doing is looking at what's happening now. And then when it comes to, okay, let me give you an education course about hip hop, about R&B, and hip hop, which was by New Jack Swing. R&B and hip hop would not be called R&B and hip hop without New Jack Swing.
So y'all just heard the history lesson. So we're gonna move on because we're gonna allow y'all to catch up on that one. I want to ask you this, big bro. We talk about your contribution, but I want to talk about your give back. You put a lot of producers and artists and songwriters on. Was that intentional? Was that, hey, you want to see everybody win, you want everyone to have a seat at the table? What allowed you to reach out and be able to launch so many careers?
It's just in my DNA, you know. I always want to see people win. You know, I put on a lot of people, and I'm the cause of a lot of people getting put on.
Absolutely.
You know, and especially my guys from the streets. You know, I put on a lot of my hustling guys because I used to be, you know, and when you found or cracked the code, you found the solution and the formula, you give it so that the legacy can continue. And that's all I thought about, you know, because the one good thing that my father taught me was to keep your legacy going, you got to give it away.
You can't cover it.
You can't cover it. And then, years later, Bruce Swedeen told me the same thing. I said, why do you tell people your secrets? And he said, I tell them because I can't take it with me to my grave. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. How would your legacy continue if you did not pass it down?
If it dies with you, it's done.
Yeah. So that's why I always instill today, I'm putting people on. And it's behind all walls and everything. I don't publicize it, but a lot of people are really getting the just due and getting recognized, you know, just by me saying, man, that's the cat right there, or that's the cat, you know, and like I feel good when people just, say, man, thank you, Teddy. I don't look for anything.
No.
I just love doing it, man.
But
It's
you've been
just-
blessed for it, brother, and you're going to continue to be blessed because of that. I promise
Well, I
you.
mean, I'm still here today,
Absolutely.
and I'm still,
Absolutely.
doing what I love, and people are still receiving it. So for me, that's the blessing, that I can still do what I need to do, and I don't have to, even though I do other things and I have other things that I'm working on, and I can still say I can do this and still be successful at it.
If you look back at the body of your work, is there a record that you would have been like, yo, I could have had 50 on this record, like 50 Cent would have been dope on this record? Is there a record that you could go back and be like, I would have put him on this joint?
Sure, he could have been on all of it. He could have been on Rump Shaker. It doesn't matter. I feel like artists like 50 and Jay-Z and Kanye or anybody, it doesn't matter. They can get on anything and make it fire. I got the pleasure to work with Jay-Z. I got the pleasure to work with 50 Cent, with Michael Jackson. So it's just for me, it's whoever. I'm like Mike Tyson. I work with anybody.
I work with anybody.
But and people are still calling today, for me to work with different artists. I love working with new artists.
Who you liking
It's
out there
the biggest.
right now?
It's the biggest challenge to work with a new artist. And every time I get the opportunity, it's a home run for me. Because I get to be a part of the shaping of their career. And doing that actually right now with a young artist. But who I like today, Coco Jones is amazing. ATR is amazing. She's always been, I heard her album before it came out, Some of the producers are like my little nephews, Who else? Of course, Anderson .Paak and the Bruno Mars, staying artists. The ones with the staying power. And that's a Bruno Mars, that's an Anderson .Paak. And, I think Coco Jones is going to be that. Money Long, the artists I remember.
There's a lot of them out there.
There's
a new one every week.
Lucky Day is amazing. And these are the artists, because I love this. I love this,
Right.
It's, for me, it makes the artist really classic when they tap into the authenticity of the music and the original things like, strings and real players, and I love that. I love to hear it. So when I hear like the Lucky Days and I hear, even the kid, what's his name? He's the TikTok kid, TikTok IG kid. God.
There's so many of them out there.
It
I ain't
is,
gonna
but
lie.
Kevin Ross.
Oh, Kevin Ross is
Kevin.
dope.
That kid is amazing.
His pen game is sick too.
Avery.
Avery's pen game is sick. I did work
Let
with
me tell
Avery.
you,
He's
his
dope.
pen game, but his singing game, he's
Oh,
just,
so
bar none, I think right now, if I was to put him out, I think he's the best singer in the world.
Avery's dope. I'm not even arguing with that. I've worked with him.
He's the best
One-on-one,
singer.
he's dope.
He's the best singer in the world. How I got introduced to Avery, he's like a nephew to me through Akil, Rex and Effect.
Yep.
He was working on his record. He was signed to somebody, and they didn't do what they're supposed to do with him. And thank God he was able to get out of that and move on and really soar. I think he deserves it, and he's going to get his just due. Avery, to me, is today's, I'm going to put three people in one, because that's what he is. He's today's Donny Hathaway,
All right.
Luther Vandross,
Wow.
and Freddie Jackson.
Wow.
Because he can do them all. And if you want to really be candid, any high singer, this dude will shut him down. And the only person I think that's close to that is J Moss.
J Moss is dope too. Shout out
So-
to J Moss.
I mean, to still know these singers and have the knowledge of, because I'm a musicologist and I hear just so many of these singers, and some of them, they sound good, but they're doing it wrong vocally. So I give Avery what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I also got to give it up to Tank. Have the staying power. He's been around a long time.
Been around a long time.
And,
He bodied that tour with y'all too.
Yes, he did, and still going. That's our brother, man. And the thing about it is, we have to raise up, our singers, because back then, singers raised up themselves.
Right.
Whitney, everybody, they up, they reached the top, and they still, give back, but they still have the staying power.
But with that though, how do you feel the state of R&B is right now?
State of R&B. Now I have to say this: they have been trying to erase R&B for so long, but you can't erase the music. You can't erase the artists, and I just don't think they can erase R&B just like that. That's why I said system corruption, because they did it with disco. And they named it club. They did it with rock and call it now whatever, weirdo.
Grunge, call it whatever. Call it whatever.
Call it. But the thing about it is, I don't go off of what they dictate, because New Jack Swing is still going. Even though it's not on the billboards to say New Jack Swing, people still receive the music and they still say, that's New Jack Swing.
Right.
So I just really feel like the state of R&B is going to be back on the mound. We just got to get a couple of things out of the way, and that's the corruption that's going on in the music and the entertainment field, period. I'm so happy that we are now stepping up to have ownership.
Equity.
And I'm not talking about just ownership of your music. I'm talking about ownership of the networks.
Right.
Tyler Perry,
Shout out to
going
Tyler.
into buying BET.
2 networks now. Yes.
Two networks. Yep. That's huge for us. I just hope that it truly supports us.
Absolutely.
Because we did have a president that didn't support us. And, it's crazy to me to have us get in the office and not talk about us. Sad. So, and then you got somebody who's in office and he's employing us and giving us a platform. And I'm not talking about the dude that's in today.
Gotcha.
So, but I don't want to get into that because I've been scrutinized, but I know the truth. You know what I'm saying? I know the truth because I follow the truth. They say follow the truth, just like follow the money. Follow the truth. And what I see is going on, it's just simple corruption. That's the reason why I moved to Africa. Because I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell y'all and scare anybody, but the forecast, I knew about the pandemic before the pandemic.
So you did the Nas move in Belly. You went to Africa.
Yeah, I went to Africa. I stayed in Dubai. And, I sit down with the brothers there. They said, man, if you want, come on back here. I'm talking about the people who write the legislations there. And they were like, listen, if you want to do music schools, whatever you want to do, we can write your legislations and make sure that it go through.
But the misconception is there's nothing going on over there. That they're third
No.
world countries, that they're behind the times.
Why you think the third world countries are together, including Africa?
Like mines.
Because they were always on a different page. They didn't like what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So now, this was the opportunity for them to step out and separate themselves from what? The
Yeah,
country, the corruption,
the
right?
foolishness.
The foolishness.
The bait and
It's like,
switch.
yo, we ain't with that. You know, we have families to feed. We have this. You got some people who really don't care about their own family.
Yeah.
So those things you got to just say, all right, what could I do about it? If I can't beat them, I'm not going to join them. If it's not right, I'm going to go the other way.
Gonna keep it moving. We're here for the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Let
Thank
me
you,
just give you
thank
that
you.
right now. How does it
Appreciate
feel? Long overdue.
Hey, I can only say it's on the
God's
most
time.
high and
Yeah.
and the highest spirit. You know, for me, it feels good, but I still got more work to do. So, you know, I count this one up and keep it moving. If I get more, I get more. If I don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
My
Accomplished a
thing
lot.
is, I do this for us, and I didn't have to do safe things or go pop or do the other.
You just did what
I didn't
you
have
did.
to sell out, to do what I do, and it's just naturally what I've done and just my life. How you say my dash?
Yeah.
My natural dash is I fall for us, and every time people talk about New Jack Swing, I said it's ours, because I don't take the full credit. If it wasn't for the people who love it and for the people who helped me really bring this up, like Keith Sweat, Dougie Fresh, Kumo D, and Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
just took New Jack Swing to the sky. And I saw a commercial with Michael, and it's talking about New Jack Swing. And I didn't think I was gonna see myself. But when they said New Jack Swing, I was like, okay, that's cool, that's my name. Then it
Yeah.
said, and Teddy Riley, then I was like, wow. So sometimes I'm surprised of what I see still today, why am I, it must be something, why am I
something.
still here?
You got more work to do, brother.
There you
got
go.
more work to do. You heard it here. Teddy, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Songwriters Hall of Fame, many hits. I know you got more left in you. Ladies and gentlemen, the great, the finisher, the legend himself, Teddy Riley. I'm your man, June Archer. This is the Winner's Circle. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. As I like to always finish, never leave the opportunity undone to tell somebody that you love them. It may be the last opportunity. You
That's
have
right.
to do so. We love you. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.